Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. Today for a breakdown video we have some Troy slugs. This is the YTR slug. Now if you Google that, what comes up is the Troy Slug Storm slugs. Now the box does not say Slug Storm on it, but the one pictured on Google does. It actually says right here, Slug Storm. It does have it right here. You guys can clearly see that. Alright, so these are kind of impressive. They are very, very cheap. I don't know if they're going to be accurate or not, but what's impressive about them is they are rated for, get ready for it, 1900 FPS. If that's true, I already like these. I don't care if they're accurate. These are cheap, and that is some screaming fast velocity, and I'm all for it. Be a great, plinking slug, I guess. I was going to say shell, but slug. The box, however, is, while some of it does look pretty cool, especially that stamp right there, the head stamp, it doesn't say what these are anywhere on it. It doesn't say, well, it says slug right there, but it doesn't list velocity. I'm assuming this is where they'd put it, because most manufacturers have a box right there where it, lists the specs, but 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, and that's all it says, besides the Slug Storm. This side of it is just warnings. If you want to read anything, just pause it. I know it's kind of shaky, but it's kind of hard to use a tripod at the bench right here. More warnings. The back of it is the same as the top. And the bottom of it is just their address. These are made in the USA. The components aren't, but the slugs, the shells themselves are. That's pretty cool. There's really not much else to say about the box. We should just move over to the shell itself now. YBR Troy. The box says YTR. And the website for these doesn't list the YBR or YTR anywhere at all. So it seems these have gone through multiple branding changes. That right there, it's kind of hard to make out, but it does say 2 3/4 inch. It is a little bit smudged. Overall, I mean, it does look alright. It says Slug Storm there. This is a Shadot Hall CX2000 primer. We have stars on it. It's just a Shadot Hall. Roll crimped, you can see the slug in there. Now, I haven't looked at these yet. I don't know much about them, but to me, I can tell that this is a slug that has a tail wad. Sort of like the Ballistic Products Thug Slug, something like that. I will say that the roll on these, the entire box of 10, they aren't the best. So I just answered that phone, and it had a robot voice on the other end saying, "Sorry, no one is available to take your call right now." What the heck is up with that? Never had that happen before. But anyway, back to the slug. The roll is a little bit oval, kind of egg-shaped, and it's not even. If you look around the inside, that right there on the top is kind of going underneath the rifling. On this side, it's over top of it. It's not the most even thing in the world, but I really don't think that'll hurt accuracy too bad. I know some of ours have been like that, and they've performed just fine on paper, so who really knows? These do not have a hollow point, so yeah, let's crack this open and see how they put it together. Alright, so I want to start off with the powder in this one. The charge is 30.6. That's nothing crazy for a slug, but it's a very fine flake powder, and it is sort of OD green in person. I think you can tell it's not black, but yeah, it's kind of green, and it is a lot of it. That's a lot of volume that this takes up in the haul. It is a not dense at all powder. I've never seen anything like this. This could be a custom blend by Troy, but if anybody watching this knows what it is, leave it down in the comments. It could be a Vitivori powder. I've never had any experience with those, and for all I know, this could be one of their powders. Now on to the slug itself. It is a rifled slug, and it does take a tail wad. More on that in a second. But it's just a fairly common European style slug. Again, no hollow point. Rifling is pretty dang deep in. See how much it weighs. It feels like a 1 ounce slug, but I will make note that I did mangle it with pliers trying to pull it out. Maybe you can see it right there. But it feels like it's an ounce. It is 435.4 grains. I'd say this probably was an ounce before I removed a little bit of the lead. But there it is. It is a 1 ounce slug. How much does it weigh with the tail wad? 1.1. All right. And 1900 FPS, this thing should be carrying a tremendous amount of energy. Here it is compared to a Ballistic Products Thug Slug, which is on the right, and the Troy is on the left. It appears that this is a Thug Slug tail wad, or at least what Ballistic Products calls the Thug Slug tail wad. I don't know what it's actually called, but they are made in Italy, or France one. But they are a pretty decent tail wad. I'll pull the slugs off these and get a better comparison. This one is a little bit shorter. Probably has something to do with the slug weight. Actually, is it shorter? I think it's shorter. Hold on. Indeed, it is shorter. Now, I'm not sure if this is a Thug Slug tail wad, but it's very, very close to it if it isn't. And if it is, it's just a different variant of it. If anyone out there is curious if this fits on the Goodell tail wad, the GSC-12, no, the cavity in the slug is a little bit too shallow. However, I think if you remove the top part of that wad, it'll fit. I'll try that. Hold on. I have a bunch of these. And yep, just like I thought, if you remove the top part of that tail wad, the slug fits, and it actually fits very, very tight, which is a good thing. There's no way that would ever fall off. But I doubt anyone's going to buy these and then, you know, open the shell up just to replace the tail wad with a GSC-12. It might be a good idea. We have had a lot better luck out of these tail wads than the Thug Slug tail wad, if that's what this actually is. But it could be an option for somebody. Alright, last thing to go over here is the hull itself. This actually might not be a Shadot hull. I think it's actually a Rio. Looking at the primer now, yeah, that's not a Shadot primer. That is more round and nowhere near as shiny as a CX-2000. It actually appears to be a Rio, which I think Rio primers are a bit less powerful than a CX-2000 Shadot primer. But the hull looks to be exactly the same as a Shadot, if not a actual Shadot hull with a Rio primer. That's actually what I kind of think's going on here. They bought unprimed hulls, primed them with Rios, because I'm 95% certain this is a Shadot. It doesn't feel or look like a Rio hull. And here it is put back together. I used the Reloaders Network 4-pin 12-gauge roll crimp tool, which are actually back on the market. I know for a while they were gone and no one knew if they would ever be back. Well, they're back now, and in my opinion, for a straight roll crimp tool, they are the best on the market. So if you want any, you might want to go ahead and pick one up. I know the hull itself isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but if you've seen it when it was unrolled, it was kind of mangled, so ain't really no fixing that. But the roll itself is flawless. Someone out there might be asking, I thought the GOPs and the OMVs were the best. Well, those aren't a straight roll crimp tool. Those are more of a crimp finisher, a fold crimp finisher. You can roll crimp with them too, but the Reloaders Network, made by Nick Ross, is the best straight roll crimp tool on the market. But anyways, guys, that's going to end this one here. I am kind of excited to do a range video on these. If they are really 1900 FPS, that already really impresses me. I don't really care if they're accurate at that point. They're just fun range food, and again, they're really cheap. But if they are that fast, and they are really accurate, this is a really, really good slug option. Accuracy and plenty of speed and power. Can't really beat that. Especially considering these are dirt cheap. Anyway, if you want to, check out the stuff in the description below. Patreon, Instagram, Rumble, merch store. All that stuff really helps us out. But we'll see you in the next one.